Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am finally getting around to filming the Q&A that I asked on my Instagram story probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. I could list loads of excuses as to why I'm just not doing it, but I will save you from that. And here I am now doing it. So basically I've tried to categorize all the questions that were asked. I want this to be a quick get to know you, or get to know me. I'm hoping to keep this under 15 minutes because I'm a chatty Cathy. So I did try to categorize them so I can kind of flow and like stay consistent. Some of the questions were the same, especially when it came to work things. So I'll save my work, career related stuff for the end, and then I'll start with like family things. A couple people had questions about Kendall, questions about Kari, so I'll start with that. And then there was some like quick fire questions that I can do, like my favorite things. So then I'll go to that, and then career stuff. I guess I'm just looking for YouTube to be a platform for me to show, I guess, a different side of me that my Instagram followers don't normally see, and like that my brand isn't really about. This is more a personal thing of like, this is who I am. I hope to be as authentic as possible on this platform, and you can just see a bit inside of like my personality, my life, and not so much work stuff. Obviously the goal is to continue to build my brand, but I just hope that this is like a way that people can just see like a different side of me. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right in. The first question is, how did you meet your husband and what does he do? They were two separate questions, but I'll combine them into one. Hang on, he's calling. Hello. Hello.
Hey, what's up? You get your video made?
No, I'm actually doing it right now.
Oh, sorry for bugging.
No, you're fine.
What? You need me to get Kari? I'm gonna be off the next 20.
No, I'm gonna get him because I'm gonna go to mom's.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll probably play a round of golf then.
Okay, sounds good. It's really nice out.
It is so fucking nice out. So I'm probably about to leave here by 20:30.
Okay, sounds good. Well, be careful, and I'll be there until like probably close to his bedtime because Casey and Maverick will be there.
All right. Don't feel like you can't spend the night.
I know you probably want me to, but I think he needs to be in his bed.
It's up to you.
All right, I'll just text me later.
All right.
All right, love you.
Okay. We'll be back.
Okay, so the first question is, how did you meet your husband and what does he do? They were two questions, I combined them to one. So I met him through two of my best friends in Columbus. They all three bartended at Brothers. It's like a bar downtown, and I met him when I was 21. I was a baby. It was my party girl era. I was not looking for something serious. I don't think he super was. He was 26 when I met him. I was 21. He maybe was a little bit more than me, but we were slow burners. It took us a minute to get serious, and yeah, we've kind of been together ever since. I think that there was like, before we were officially dating, I think there was a period of time that like we weren't on the same page, and I think the longest we've, in the past 6 years, like gone without speaking was like maybe 3 or 4 days. So my biggest blessing truly is him. I couldn't ask for anyone better to like raise a family with, not to get corny, but anyway. And then what does he do? So he is a logistics manager actually for my family farm. So this was all super random how it kind of fell into place, but that is what he was doing at his last company as well. He was in logistics there. Completely different industry, and my family, again, farms. They're crop farmers, not livestock. So it's been a big learning curve for him, but he's done it so gracefully, and he's worked so hard, and I am very, very proud of him. As far as him working with family, it's not something that I originally thought that I was not even going to be okay with, but my sister and my dad came to me really before going to him because it's my family, and just to double check that I was okay with it. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone was on the same page of like work being work and family being family, and they all are very, very good at like separating the two. But I'm just very blessed that my family all gets along so well, and Kendall's always had such a good relationship with my dad and my sister, and I never wanted to tarnish that. So that was my one downfall there, but he does love it. If you don't know anyone that works in agriculture, they're just really the hardest workers that you'll ever meet. They work such long hours during busy season, and I'm just so grateful to have been raised around such hard workers, and now seeing a different side of it being my spouse versus my dad or my sister, I definitely have an even bigger respect and appreciation for their line of work. Okay, next was your son a COVID baby, and do you think it has affected him? My first was, and I noticed a difference with my second. That's a little hard for me to answer because Kari is the only baby that I have, and I actually don't think that it has affected him. Like things that I've read online and what I think this person's referring to, like his social skills, and he's just a pretty social kid. But I also don't know that he was born in December 1st of 2020, and I don't know that it's that I did that much different because things were back open. You know, it's not like I have one of my best friends, her first child was born, her first son was born in March. Like actually the first day salons were closed. And I don't know that it's affected him now. I don't think it has. He's definitely like flourished and doing amazing. But she had a different experience because, you know, we had no idea what was going on at, you know, March of 2020 versus December of 2020. Like things were opening back up. I was working again and like it was just a whole different ball game. And also everyone deals with things differently. Like I don't think I did that much different. Like I, of course, the first couple weeks kept him at home and it was like flu season. And anytime you have a winter baby, you kind of have to do that. But after he had his first round of shots, like we were on a plane to Florida when he was like 9 weeks old, and to each is their own. Like that's what I chose to do. I wanted to get out of the house. I took him to restaurants and we stayed at friends' houses. And like, I did it probably for my own mental, which looking like I needed that. And like, I tell everyone that if you are a social person, like it's hard to get out the door, especially with your first kid. It's just, there's a lot of things to like actually get out the door. And sometimes you don't mentally want to leave your house. But for me, it was the best thing that I could. So no, my personal experience, I don't think having a COVID baby, like, I don't think it affected him. I think Kari is, I'm sorry, I have something in my eye. I think Kari is exactly who he would have been kind of no matter when he was born. So my personal experience, I don't think it's affected him. Okay, and then the other one about parenting was, what's the hardest part of parenting? And that is such a loaded question because it's going to be so different for everyone. Like any new friend or client that's having their first kid, I'm always like, listen, you have to like find people that you can confide in, but you have to also remember that their answer, A, they're not judging you if you decide to do it differently, or hopefully not, and B, their answer might look differently than what you feel like is best because your schedule's differently. You everything about everyone's life is so different. And so I think that my hard is going to be so different than someone else's hard, but their hard might have been harder than my phase or Kari's phase for me because of so many different circumstances. So that's a really, really hard one. I think that if I just look about what we're dealing with right now at his age, he's 2 and a couple months. And I'm so sorry. My hard right now is bedtime. He was always the easiest kid to put to sleep. He has always been on a really good routine. Honestly, he's been in his crib in his own room since he was about 3 months old. That's what we chose to do. We did sleep training. We did cry it out. It was our personal decision. And we felt confident in that. And I never questioned it. And he slept so well. Like, not necessarily through the night. It took him a while to get there. But like going to bed and like getting him asleep was honestly so easy for us from like 3 months until 2. And then 2, he turned a corner, and the only way I know how to describe it, he just like is a deep thinker, and like I think he deals with like being like separated from us, and like I think he's a little bit scared at night, and I can't let him cry anymore. Like he can talk to me and tell me he's scared, and I can't let my kid that's 2 years old that can speak sentences to me sit in his crib and cry. Like it's so hard for me, and I kind of was like, we got to do something and blah blah blah, but I don't know. This is a hard phase that we're in right now. And then also disciplining is a little bit hard because what worked for us a couple months ago isn't working for us now. And I don't know. I just think that overall, this is just a phase, and I know that, and I remind myself of it. Kendall reminds me of it. My mom reminds me of it, and I know he will outgrow it, and he'll be going to bed again and all the things. But I just think it's hard. You have to decide. I think overall with parenting, to simplify that long-winded answer, I would say the hardest part is like having confidence in yourself. I think that we as parents like put so much pressure on like the decision making, and it is important. Like what we are doing to our kids and with our kids does affect hopefully the people that they will become. So you should put a lot of pressure on it because it's so important. It's their life, right? And I think I've learned coping mechanisms that have worked for me is like, I know how much I love him. I know that we've created a stable environment. You know, we do all the things that we feel like are best in this moment. And we might look back in 5 years and be like, oh, we should have done that differently or this differently. And it just is what it is. And like, I hope that if there's one thing that in 20 years, my kid, you know, is looking back and doesn't agree with me on certain things, that like, he will at least know I did it out of love, and that like, I didn't mean to cause anything that I don't know. I just hope that he knows that like, I'm making all my decisions out of love. And I think that's the biggest thing is you have to try to have confidence in yourself and in your partner, and like, you know, deal with things, you know, behind closed doors, because kids pick up on so much. And don't talk about stuff when you're tired, especially in that newborn phase. Like there was one evening, middle of the night, that I remember Kendall and I kind of like, not even got into it, but we were both exhausted. And I'm like, we'll talk about this in the morning. Like close the book, someone go to sleep if it can't be both of you. and rediscuss in the morning. So I don't know. That's a long-winded answer, and it's a hard question because there's so many hard parts of parenting, and it's honestly just so different for everyone. Okay. So the next thing is going to be more quick fire answers. I know I said that for the last one, but those needed a little bit more explaining than what these do. So this one is more like random stuff. It says favorite food, and someone else said favorite restaurant. So favorite food, macaroni and cheese. I am who I am. I don't care. It's been my favorite food since I was like 2 years old. And if I'm not feeling well, or if anything, comfort food, some nice macaroni and cheese. Favorite restaurant is Lindy's. I'm going to do Columbus restaurants because that's where my business is and that's where most of my like people are. So Lindy's in German Village is my favorite restaurant. Their food is phenomenal. Their vibes are phenomenal. I just love it. I love that restaurant so much. And they have a great patio. I think another favorite restaurant is Local Cantina. I love Mexican. They have great cocktails. They might not be as good as what I think they were a couple years ago, but they have so many locations now. So I think that like, that just is what it is, but I'm still a big Local Cantina girl. And then another great spot is High Bank. I think it's a good middle of the road, like great happy hour, great brunch. It's a good place. My girlfriends and I go there a lot now. Favorite color is green. I'm really into orange recently, but my favorite color has always been green. Okay, this one was funny. So it says, fuck, marry, kill. Sorry, Grandma, if you watch this. But fuck, marry, kill. Reggie Bush, Chris Humphries, Pete Davidson. And I'm going to have to go fuck Reggie Bush, marry Pete Davidson, kill Chris Humphries. Do you listen to any podcasts? I do. Now that I have a drive, I did not used to. My friend Hillary is one, hilarious, and two, the queen of podcasts, and I just like her sense of humor. So she turned me on to Not Skinny But Not Fat, Amanda Hirsch, this is my favorite and what I would recommend to a lot of people. And then also The Skinny Confidential, his and her podcast. I do really enjoy them as well. They're a little bit different, but I like both of those. And then I'm a reality TV girl. It is what it is. And sometimes I'll tune into like Lala's, or I clearly like Vanderpump. Katie Maloney, I think she stopped doing hers. Stassi, she stopped because of all the stuff that went on, and then she got back, and I do like her. She's funny. So yeah, or if there's ever someone that's being interviewed on someone else's podcast that I don't normally listen to, I'll tune in just because I like the person being interviewed. And then favorite show, I just touched base on loving reality TV. I would say my top reality TV would be Love Island. Is probably my all-time favorite show. My perfect evening is getting home from work, especially after a late day. Kendall has 90% of the time cooked dinner, and hopefully Kari's asleep and I can grab my plate, take a shower, grab my plate, sit my ass on the couch and binge some Love Island. Is like my ideal evening. So Love Island. And then as far as like not reality TV, I like Peaky Blinders. I like the Game of Thrones. I like, what else do I really like? I don't know. That's all I can think of for now. That was more than one favorite show. Favorite would be Love Island. Could have kept that answer shorter. Okay, moving into work things. What is your favorite? Well, two people asked, what is your favorite part of your job? And then someone said, what's your least favorite part of your job? So my favorite part of my job from a technical standpoint is like what I enjoy doing most would be foiling. Anything tedious, anything like precise and like that I can really like and visualize the color that I'm going to create would be my favorite. And then my other favorite part of my job, it sounds so corny, but it's like the relationship that I've built with clients. Like there are so many clients that I have such a great relationship with now. And I'm honestly just very, very grateful for their, it's not like we always get to see them outside of the my work environment, but I don't know. I just have really, really built some great relationships with people my age, older than me, younger than me. And that's just a big reason that I got into the industry. And I think that they don't even know it, but they've helped me through so many phases of my life, and they've been there. They've been building blocks as I've transitioned into different points in my career. So that's another favorite part, is the people that I get to meet and the relationships that I get to build. And then my least favorite part of my job, I hesitate saying this because I'm trying to look at it in a different way, but I would say it's probably social media, only because it's hard keeping up. I think that ever since there's been like such a heavy algorithm on things, it's like with what I do, you have to stay, I don't want to use the word relevant, but like you have to stay on top of the trends or the algorithm or whatever it is that you need to be doing, because that's how you stay booked. Like, I mean, I am my own brand now, and Columbus Proper, like that Jess and I own, is also its own brand, and we don't have anyone else feeding us clients. Like right now, I'm like very booked and like very fortunate to have a full set of books and I'm booked weeks to weeks out. And so like, I don't know that that will ever totally drop off, but like, I don't know, if you stop staying on top of things, like you stop staying with the trends and stop keeping up with things, like people will stop coming to you. There's always another stylist. There's always another salon. So I think that's like a big thing for me is the pressure of social media, but the creative side of it I really enjoy. And like that's another reason I wanted to start a YouTube, because I enjoy the creative side of things. I've had cameras, like digital cameras, be one of my bigger Christmas gifts since I was a kid. And so I like photography. I like messing with different apps and stuff. So I guess I'm trying to train my brain to like just look at it as a hobby of mine that I'm able to do with my career versus feeling the pressure of it. But as of this moment right now, I would say that's probably my least favorite part. Also mixed with, it's the same, but like how available we are. Like we don't, and I know so many stylists, especially independent stylists, deal with this. Like there's no off button, and that's part of running your own business, but like it's slightly different with social media and your phone. Like I had to, at the end of last year, I created a completely separate phone number because I couldn't stay on top of everything. And like one of my big goals this year was like, because I'm kind of doing more of the business side of things, to be more on top of emails, because I email back and forth with different wholesalers and reps, and just this, that's more professional platform. And even though like my clients don't really email me, like I do need to be better. I mean, I was bad. Like I would have to let emails pile up because you simply can't do it all. I can't be behind the chair for 12 hours looking at emails, texting back to clients, replying to DMs. Like you can't do it all. So for me, email was like the last priority. And I'm trying to change that a little bit because it's so important in a business setting for emails. It's just prevalent. It's what you have to use. So what I hate most is, I guess, how available we are. But that's a me thing. Like you can't change that. Like this is the day and age that we live in. And I can't change how available I am, but I can adjust my hours and be better with time management. So all things have an answer. Every problem has a solution. I fully live my life that way. Okay. What color line do you use? I'm currently using Redken Shades EQ for like toning and low lighting, which I've used that for several years now. It's popular for a reason. Like it just is. Like I hate to say it, but whenever someone is Knox, like either a product line or a color line, I'm just like, people use these for a reason. I think that's what you have to remind yourself of. If you trust your stylist, you have to trust what color they use, and you have to trust what products they sell you. Okay, I use Redken Shades EQ. I use L'Oreal Professional for a NOA for gray coverage. And then I use color gels a little bit, Redken color gels a little bit. And I've recently, in the past couple months, switched back from Schwarzkopf Blonde Me back to Wella. I haven't used Wella in several years, but to me it's like the OG lightener, and it definitely does what it's supposed to do. Can be a little harsh, so I always use like Wellaplex or Olaplex or B3 with it, but I do really like it. I also think there's a reason why it's gonna lighten the hair. Okay, what made you want to open your own salon? I think aside from like the first maybe year or two of doing hair, I think I've always known that that was like the end goal. And I guess if I can be proud of one thing, it's like the steps that I've taken to get there. I don't feel like I've rushed anything. I don't feel like I've, taken on a job that's bigger than what I can handle, or put my family in a bad financial state to do something. And I just feel like I'm happy with the progression that I've taken. It's been, a moderate risk level. I think I did the stair steps the way that worked best for me and my family. And I think I've just always known that I wanted to do it. It's becoming a very popular concept as far as booth rent salons. There's lots of independent stylists, like salon lofts and my salon suites, and all those things blew up. Sorry, my light just died. All of those things totally blew up. And okay, sorry, I lost my train of thought when my light died, but I've always known that I wanted to open my own salon. I don't know, I just think that there was just something about creating a brand and the business side of me and everything I've learned from my dad and sister. I just wanted to okay, how can you cut expenses? How can you, increase your revenue? Even by my sister always tells me if you do 1% better than you did last year, you're on the road to success. So that's something I try to really make sure that we do each year, is that we're cutting expenses and still continuing to grow and reaching our goals. But yeah, I don't know, I've always wanted to do it. For anyone that doesn't know, I own a booth rent salon, which is becoming a fairly popular concept in Columbus. It's in Grandview, more Marble Cliff area. So it's all the way down Fifth Avenue towards Riverside, and I own it with one of my best friends who I'm like super blessed to be able to go through this journey with. We complement each other very well from a business standpoint. And I think it's just like half the risk when you go in with someone that you trust in business. It's like half the amount of investing, and it's a lot to start your own business. So it's like half of that. And I don't know, I just think that it makes me want to work harder to help provide for her family. I know she feels the same for mine. And yeah, I just think we hold each other accountable in a lot of different ways. So I've always known I wanted to do it. I think I wouldn't change any part of the process as far as my career goes. I'm like happy that I did things the way that I did, but this was the end goal. And I would, really hope to have a bigger space one day and like a little bit more grand. And that's kind of our main goal now. I think that we're working towards. We'll probably always have the space that we have now, but having something a little bit like bigger, if that makes sense. Maybe not a ton of chairs, but just, I don't know, like more storefront vibes, I guess. Okay, and the last question I'm gonna end with is, how do you stay motivated all the time? I guess the simple answer when it comes to that is I really don't. I have my days and my weeks just like everyone else, kind of back to how I first started this. Like Instagram is a highlight reel. So although I do work really, really hard, and I've learned the older I get, like I thrive on a schedule. I need a schedule. I have high energy days, low energy days. So like I try to give myself grace when I'm not feeling like going to the gym, even though it's a day off or whatever it is. I fall off the same way everyone else does. But I guess I think it's important is just, if you have certain goals, no one's going to get there for you. So it's not always motivation. Sometimes it's discipline. And I know I'm not the first person that said that, but that really is what it boils down to. I'm try to be disciplined to get to where I want to go, because that's no one's going to do it for me. And I think that it takes consistency. It takes years of hard work. There's no way that you can open a brand or start doing something and see the results in a day or a year or even 5 years. Like it takes so much time. I've been in my industry for almost 9 years now, and I'm not the tip of the iceberg of where I hope to go. So I'm proud of where I'm at, and I never want to like forget that. I always tell my clients, like, if this is as far as I go, I love my space that Jess and I have created so much that like I would be okay with that. It's definitely not where I hope to end, but I am proud of where we are, and I'm happy. That's the biggest thing. I'm happy where we are. Like, you don't know what life's going to throw at you, and I'm thankful that I have a healthy body to show up to work and to do what I love. Like, there's so many people that go to work every day and don't enjoy what they do. So I'm super thankful that I have that, and I have so many people that have backed me and have just been supportive throughout this whole journey. So the motivation's not always there, but the discipline is, and my goal will forever be the same. And I hope that I can always create a good environment to my clients and to any future stylists that want to work alongside me. That is the last of my questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it's not extremely long. My battery did die at one point, so I had to switch things out. If it's a little bit chopped and screwed, sometimes I fumble my words, and bear with me. It's my first like chatty Q&A or chatty like sit down for YouTube. So I'm hoping to be a little bit more consistent is the goal with my YouTube videos, to get people to kind of just, again, see a different side of me that Instagram doesn't always see. But I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if there's anything you want to see in the future.